Are we streaming?
Yeah.
We're not.
No, we are. We have 11 viewers.
Oh, fuck. I didn't even know that.
Fumble around and drop shit everywhere.
Oh my god.
10 watching now.
I like how I did not know that. Okay, hello. I'm really sorry, everyone.
I mean, are you?
I am sorry. I'm sorry that I did not know that we were streaming. I would have at least tried to say some jokes. Okay, wait, shit. Should I be recording this in Audacity? Because I realized that I cannot record my own video at the same time as us recording a Google Hangout.
Oh my god. Yeah, we should probably do that.
Okay, so I'm just going to record myself in Audacity starting now.
Well, I am not, because it's not opening.
Well, then I'm not going to start it now.
All right, okay, go now.
I'm
good. Boom. Pilot, guys.
This is going great. We're doing a great job.
This is super awesome. All right, hold on.
I'm just adjusting my audio settings because I actually am really professional. It's not obvious from anything that I've said so far today. Okay, so hi, I'm Maddy Myers.
I'm Ryan. Welcome to our show. That is not going very well so far.
Insomniacs in the morning. How did you sleep, Ryan?
I mean I slept pretty well considering like the night before I didn't sleep at all. So
yeah, I got 5 hours of sleep, which is pretty good. I feel pretty good.
That's good. I'm trying to figure out how to swap this so it shows both of us.
Well, I think if you click on... Oh, shit. Wait.
I just pushed a button. I don't know what that does.
Just keep pushing buttons. Just keep pushing buttons. I think there's a way to have it switch back and forth between us every time one of us talks, which is what you would want.
Right.
So unclick on yourself. Right? Because right now you're the default.
Well... Hold on. Okay, there we go. Maybe next.
So now is it gonna maximize me?
Well, you're already maximized for me, so.
Okay, I don't know. Guys, tell us if it's wrong. We don't know how to fix it right now, okay?
I
like how Mary Ellen is making fun of us for not testing this in advance. You know what, Mary Ellen?
Okay, Mary Ellen has to understand.
Test this in advance.
No, she has to understand
tested. This is the tested version. This is the best possible version of Maddy and Ryan at 9 a.m. that you are going to get.
Ever.
This is it. This is as good as it gets. Okay, so we have a Google Doc. We have topics. I didn't open it, but now I am opening it. So
I got that far.
That's great. You opened it.
I did.
I like how I was like, Ryan, I'm going to be late because I'm still making coffee. And you were like, okay, well, I'm going to be like 2,000 minutes late because I don't know how to use anything. And I was like, cool. We're great.
Well, you know, that's what pilots are for.
It's true. It's true.
We have a little chat window. Oh God,
we do have a little chat window, and I think people can actually talk to us, but I don't know why they would want to, and I understand why they're not.
I think they are making the correct decision there right now.
I think maybe we turned off the ability for them to chat, which is fine because I don't really know how we would monitor that.
Right. Okay. There we go. All right. So I guess let's do what we said we were going to do.
Wait, what did we say we were going to do? Are we not doing it? I thought we were doing it.
We are. Well, I'm sitting here trying to adjust the levels of everything still. So
that's good. I'm glad someone's doing that. I think it's good that you're doing that, and I think you should keep doing it.
Okay. I'm also going to sit here and click the buttons for us since I can't control any of this. So. All right. Wait, hold on. I'm going to get... How do I sound to you, by the way?
You sound great. Okay, how do I sound?
You sound awesome. You're just like really inside my ears right now because I'm using
I'm deep inside your ears. I'm inside your head. I'm inside your brain.
I mean, usually, yeah.
Yeah. I feel like the video should be swapping back and forth every time one of us talks, and it's not. I think it's just you right now.
Well, now it's you because I clicked on you.
Okay, but I mean, don't click on me though.
Okay.
Also, we can turn on the chat if we want to, although I don't know if we want to do that.
The chat is on, but when you're on YouTube, there's supposed to be another chat for viewers on YouTube to watch, and I'm clicking on it, and YouTube is going, cannot compute right now.
Okay. There's a lot of answers to that question. I don't think that YouTube is going to let us do that because I think YouTube can tell that we don't deserve it. And I think YouTube knows. YouTube is watching our show and they're like, this show's garbage. This show's a big steaming hot pile of garbage.
I mean, it's certainly a mess right now, but I expected no more at this point. So.
I actually expected myself to be a little bit more coherent. I should explain. I feel like people think it's pathetic that I apparently am not more awake at 9 a.m. And they're right, it is pathetic. Normally people are awake at this time. Normally people are awake at 6 a.m. But I have a job that starts at 10. And I feel like once you get into the schedule of having a job that starts at 10, that's what you do. And you don't wake up until then.
Yeah.
Like you just start getting into the habit of not waking up until 9 and then going to work at 10. And so today I woke up at 8.
Me too, and it was weird.
Wait, so tell me about your morning though.
Well, okay, well, first of all, I'm in the same boat as you where I make my own schedule, so it's even worse in a way because like I'm just working like I just work whenever I feel like it sometimes, and that's really bad.
Or really good. I mean, in a sense.
No, it's not because I end up like not getting enough done during the day because I just keep on putting things off and procrastinating, and I do get it done, but it's usually at like 9 at night, and that's not reasonable.
Yeah, that isn't reasonable, but it's exactly what I used to do when I was in the same boat as you. I would like write a lot of stories from 9 p.m. to 2 a.m. and be like, that was a fun work day. Good thing I don't have any friends.
I know. So that's one issue. Okay, but first of all, I have to tell you before we get anything started, since we're talking about how we slept and stuff, I just woke up from a dream like an hour ago where I had time traveled back to the 80s. Surprise.
Okay, classic Ryan dream.
Yeah, and it was like I went back to 1984, which is when I was born, and it was like the summer of 1984, so I wasn't born yet. And in the dream, I was like at my parents' house in the future, being like, "Oh shit, I had a dream where I time traveled back to the 80s. I have to stop it from happening." And I didn't, and I still went back there.
You were like, but going back to the 80s is cool. I do that all the time in my dreams, so I don't see why I would stop it.
Yeah, exactly. So that happened, and when I got there, I had my smartphone, and I was taking selfies of myself to prove to everyone that I had traveled back to the 80s. But then I was like, they're just going to think I fabricated this because Photoshop...
Which is exactly what you would do. Do you remember that time when you met Hugh Jackman in real life and I accused you of photoshopping it and you had to spend like years convincing me that you had actually met him? I mean, my point is that I don't believe you and neither does anyone else. And that's horrible. It's not how our friendship should be. I'm going to try to change that, Ryan. If you show me a photo of yourself traveling back in time to the 80s, I'm going to endeavor to believe you.
I mean, half the problem is I also dress like it's still like 1989, so that's nobody's going to believe anything. But yeah, so I went back into the 80s, and for some reason, these two girls that were probably like 18, 19 believed my story and were trying to help me get back. Or they were at least
like a movie pilot.
I know. I kind of feel like we need to film it now. And I guess they were helping me, or they were entertaining the idea that they were helping me because they were 18, and they're like, "Oh, this seems like a fun thing to do right now."
Yeah.
And they took me to some restaurant where like the restaurant owner relieved me, and somebody else had also time traveled back there. And then we were like going to go and try and find my mom and try to convince her that I was her son from
so you like dreamed that Back to the Future was happening. I feel like it's important to tell everyone that Ryan regularly dreams and or writes fiction about traveling back in time to the 80s. And I don't know why. I can't actually explain this to anyone. I started it. I was like, let me explain this. And I was like, nope, I can't.
Yeah, you turned that bus around real quick.
I don't know why you do this, but you were fascinated by it. And I think it's kind of adorable because you weren't even alive for that much of the 80s.
I was born in 84. And
right. So you were like a baby.
Yeah, but a lot of people our age have the same nostalgic attachment to it, I guess, because like that was our first understanding of the world, and it was still the 80s. So
right.
What we're remembering is like our first impressions of the world.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think in the early 90s, I still watched a lot of 80s cartoons because they were just like on videotape and they were still somewhat contemporary at the time. So I still feel like I grew up with She-Ra, even though technically She-Ra was on before I was born. Which is weird.
Well, I watched Gem, so I mean, it's same thing.
Which I think was also on either before you were born or when you were very young. I don't know. Don't make me Google Gem right now, internet.
No, don't worry about it. I've got this right here in case we need to really bust it out.
Are we just gonna watch it?
Yeah, we're not gonna talk. We're just gonna watch Gem.
That seems good. I like how I'm drinking my coffee and like bumping into my microphone every time. People are gonna love this show.
I mean, we've sustained 9 viewers so far, which is more than I thought was going to be here because it's like the morning.
I know.
I also watched Adventure Time while I was trying to fall asleep last night, and I watched like 5 straight episodes. Good stuff, always.
That's pretty good. Also, the video looks like it's working because I went to YouTube and I saw my face.
That's because I'm sitting here clicking between us.
Oh. Well, I don't think that's what you're supposed to have to do.
No, it's not.
Listen, we're really good at this.
Our production quality is usually okay.
Is there anything that we could have done to fix this problem? We don't know, and we have no way of finding out.
Well, there's a reason why we chose to do a pilot before New Year's Eve, so...
That's true. Wait, what do you mean? Are you suggesting that New Year's Eve is going to somehow...
No, I'm saying
indicate that something new will occur and that like the real pilot will happen in 2016. This is just some fake practice pilot.
No, what I'm saying is that people are on their normal work schedule right now. So a lot of people who could be tuning in are probably not awake.
You're right. You're actually completely right.
Yeah. So
the 11 people watching are probably 11 people that we know in real life who are just grimly tolerating us.
Or are unfortunately at work right now.
I know. Okay, so we should actually talk about the topics on this list. I like how I was like, Ryan, we can't spend more than 5 minutes at the top of the show talking about ourselves because it's boring. And then I was like, what if we spend 15 minutes doing that?
Well, okay, no, to be fair, 15 minutes of it, or at least 10 minutes of it, was us trying to figure out how Google works.
It's true. Okay, wait. No, so... Crap, all you did was tell me about your funny dream and you didn't tell me why you had a wacky morning. Now I don't know why you had a wacky morning.
All right, I'll summarize real quick. So I woke up and I went outside to take the dog out because that's the first thing I do. And, Meg, she like pulls up and she's like, what's up? And I'm like, Steph? And she's like, it's Meg.
Wait,
and she was going to work because she works down the street from where I live, but I've never seen her that early because I'm never up before 9 in the morning.
I want to clarify this. Did you mistake her for Steph, or were you so tired that you were like,
I was so tired. And I didn't say Steph to her face. I told her afterwards, it's like, I thought you were Steph, even though she doesn't live in this state.
So you were just like, well, I have 2 brunette friends.
I don't know.
That's okay. I'm glad you included that part of the story. Okay, so continue. So Meg just showed up, which is wildly out of character. What was she doing there?
She was going to work. She works down the street from me.
Oh, okay. I thought she like pulled into your driveway and was like, "Hi, Ryan."
It was pretty close, and Lyra was excited to see her. So
that's adorable. Okay, yeah. No, that's cool.
And then Lyra saw a cat and went crazy.
Of course.
Then I come back in and I go over to our French press, and Ben had already poured water into it to make the coffee. And for some reason, I thought I had to pour more water into it. And Ben is like, "What are you doing? You're ruining the coffee." And I go, "I need 2 cups." And he goes, "Don't touch anything."
You're like, "Listen, I need 2 cups of coffee, Ben. And that means I need more water." And he's like, "Ryan, that's not... Yeah, you're diluting the cup of coffee that you have into 2 cups."
I think that's what he was trying to tell me, but I was just like not having it. So that's it. Then I sat down and tried to figure out Google Hangouts for half an hour.
Aww. That's way more stuff than I did this morning. I laid in bed for a really long time, and then at like 8:23, I was like, I have to get up at this point. If I don't get up, something bad's gonna happen. Which is to say, a lot of people on the internet are gonna laugh at me for not waking up in time for my morning show that isn't even at an early time.
Yeah, Ben was up at like 7.
Ben is always up at 7. Okay, like Zach is always up at 7. We are dating people who are normal, who sleep and wake at normal times, and they put up with us for some reason, and I don't know what that reason is. I guess it's because we're so charming and attractive.
Clearly.
That's probably it.
Hair toss. Mm-hmm. All right, so I don't want to talk about our mornings anymore because it's already been like...
I know, I'm sorry. I like hearing about you, but I know that no one else knows who you are, so it's fine. Everyone else is like, who are these two assholes and why are they talking to me right now? So let's talk to them about Star Wars.
Yeah. All right. So Star Wars. I'm excited.
I am excited to see Star Wars again. I've already seen Star Wars once. How many times have you seen Star Wars? You've seen it twice.
You and I were talking about going to see it again for when Gita was visiting, and we decided not to.
But instead you and Gita both saw it the night before. Like both of you did. And then in the morning, I was like, all right, I guess we're not seeing Star Wars again because the two of you are just talking to me about Star Wars. It was fine, though, because I had already seen it. I just wish I had seen it twice. I'm going to see it again.
Willing to see it again. This is up there with X-Men 2, which I also saw in theaters a bunch of times.
Are you trying to say X2, Ryan?
Yeah, X2. And also Days of Future Past, which I also really liked.
Yeah.
But it has to be good enough to my standards to go and see it more than once in the theater.
I like how you're acting like you have really high standards.
I don't. I really don't. I was like Days of Future Past.
You were like, listen, here are my standards. It needs to be a high action, like lots of set pieces, lots of fight scenes, and everybody has superpowers. Those are Ryan Pagella's standards for a movie, which honestly are pretty much also my standards for seeing a movie more than once.
I mean, we like sci-fi action films.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think
which is exactly what Star Wars is.
That's right. And I think a lot of people agree because Star Wars is making bajillions and bajillions of dollars.
Well, there's a lot of great things about the new Star Wars. And I'm not discrediting the other Star Wars because I love those.
Throw them in the trash.
We can throw the prequels in the trash because I still don't like those.
The prequels are still in the trash, but nobody's taken out the trash, so they're just kind of sitting there, stinking up the place. I feel kind of bad making fun of the prequels. Yeah, can we like talk about that a little bit? I mean, not that I want to like open a hot topic about the Star Wars prequels like a decade too late, but I do think that the way that people talk about the prequels is bad, and even though I don't personally like the prequels in general, I think it's really immature and shitty when people go through a thing where they're like, that movie's crap, anybody who likes it is stupid, and if you like it, you're stupid. And it's like, well, can we just calm down? Like, there are people who think the prequels are interesting. There are people who think that the slow political intrigue of the prequels is interesting.
That's what Ben likes about it.
And like, it doesn't really surprise me to hear that because like Ben likes political thrillers and likes hearing about banking in the Empire or whatever the heck those movies were supposed to be about.
Yeah.
To me, I'm like, this is the most boring thing I've ever seen in my life, and I can't believe someone made a movie about this. But like, I get that there's still canon. I get that there's still like plot points being introduced there that matter, even if they're delivered in a way that isn't compelling. And everybody looks really bored even while they're in the movie, which is also kind of sad.
Yeah, well, except for Ewan McGregor, because
he's actually pretty good. And I feel like Ewan McGregor is universally held up as the person who still did pretty well in spite of whatever was happening on the set of the prequels to make everybody look like they were having a bad time. And I don't know what that was. What are you doing? It sounds like you're just moving your mic around. Well, I can hear it, Ryan. I can hear you moving your microphone. If you thought I couldn't hear it, you were wrong.
I'm just very subtly moving the microphone across my entire desk.
Okay, but it's not subtle. It sounds like you're throwing a bunch of foam at your desk. All right. So anyway, Star Wars is good.
Star Wars is really great. I really love Rey.
I feel Rey is awesome and Finn is awesome. Finn is like my favorite character in anything ever.
I really like Poe too. I'm just gonna throw that out there.
Okay. listen, we like all three of the new characters.
Well, I'm on board with everybody that wants to make Finn and Poe make out. So
I'm on board with that too. So, like, what do you think about that? Because obviously, I want Pin and Foe. What am I saying? Obviously, I want
Pin and Poe.
Foe and Pin. Poe and Finn to make out, even if I can't say their names. I can instead only say 2 suggestions of shipping titles for them.
You know, I keep on wondering, and it's Disney, so I don't think
that's
this is
what
going
I was
to
going to
happen.
say. That's what I was about to say. You took the words right out of my mouth. I read this really long article, which I can link in the show notes if we do show notes for this show. I don't know if we're going to do show notes or not. But I read this really long article by somebody who was saying that they believe that it's intended to be implied that Poe is a gay man, and that their sort of headcanon read on it was that it was like, well, not their headcanon, their actual canonical read of it was that it was supposed to seem like Poe was gay. And this was written by a queer person, and they were like happy about it. And they were like, I think that this was the takeaway from the movie, is that Poe is supposed to be gay. And I think this is going to be in the future movies, that he's going to have an unrequited crush on Finn, but that it's going to be canon. And like, that's probably as far as Disney would go, would be to have like a gay character who has a crush on a straight character, which like doesn't necessarily happen that often in real life outside of like middle school. Like usually queer people kind of get over that phase, but like whatever, fine. We can believe that like a 35-year-old successful gay man has a crush on a 23-year-old straight man. Like, I don't know that that's realistic, but whatever, fine. It's a Disney movie. Like maybe we're supposed to believe that that's realistic. But the thing is, I don't even think they would do that. And I can't tell if that's just me being negative or like, do you think that would really happen, that they would put that in?
I think it's possible because what's his name? Oscar Isaacs, is that right? He keeps on hinting at it, and it's like, why would he be doing that if that wasn't what's happening?
Yeah.
And I also keep on thinking about how, I mean, Disney has serious issues with like everything, as much as we love Disney films.
Of course.
But I also think about the Marvel movies and the S.H.I.E.L.D. TV show, where they do have some canonically gay characters out on at least Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. And I'm like, well, if Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. could do it, it's possible that Star Wars would do something like that too. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's
because it's all owned by the same company now. So we can't broadly state that Disney would not include gay characters. In fact, it would be really stupid if Disney continued not to add gay characters to their stuff, considering how much has happened in the LGBT community in like the past year. You know what I mean?
And even in the past decade. So like they're like really late on the draw.
Right.
But yeah, I mean like the past year or 2 years or so has been pretty like a groundswell. That's a word.
Yeah.
Groundswell of support.
Good job. Good vocabulary.
Like, people can get married and stuff. It's great. Everything's fixed. So yeah, but I guess I just don't believe that's going to happen. But you're actually making me think that maybe I'm wrong.
Well, I'm certainly hopeful, but this is the same guy who is constantly telling you that Jim Gordon and Harvey Bullock on Gotham are about to make out. But see, I also said that about Barbara Gordon and like Tigress, and then
that happened. That actually happened. So that I was like, I don't know. Maybe Jim and Harvey. Okay, so we should just transition to this. I started watching Gotham for work, and then like we ran out of time to continue doing the recaps, which I'm still really sad about. But so I completely fell off the wagon with Gotham because I had to cover New York Comic Con, and then I just never got back on the wagon after that. But Ryan has like determinedly continued to watch Gotham and like ships Harvey and Jim so hard, and is the only person that I know who ships Harvey and Jim on that show. But I think the reason why you're the only person I know who does that is because I don't know anyone besides you who's still watching Gotham.
Which is too bad, because the show itself is so much better than Arrow and the Flash, because Arrow and the Flash...
It also got a little better this season too, we should clarify. Like Gotham kind of turned around a little.
Okay, what happened with Gotham though is that unlike Flash and Arrow, they were just like, you know what? Let's stop trying to make this a serious soap opera drama, and let's just embrace how campy and stupid this concept is. And then it just got immediately better. So, I mean...
Yeah, I mean, they like figured out what kind of show they wanted to be, and they finally started doing that
Yeah, they do a lot of homage to like Batman Returns and stuff, so I'm okay with that.
Yeah, I think I guess I'm saying if somebody wanted to hop on board with Gotham, like this season isn't a bad time to do it. But also it's really, I don't know how to recommend this show. I'm hoping to try to finish watching the rest of the season, although I have absolutely no idea when I would do that.
Well, anyway, Star Wars.
Oh yeah, back to Star Wars. I feel like I said, okay, I don't want to like spoil Star Wars for anybody.
Well,
but
let's assume everybody in the world has seen it, but you're right.
Yeah, no, I know. I'm not gonna like spoil some major plot points, but I guess I would say like I'm finally starting to get to the point now where I'm willing to hear criticisms of Star Wars, because I feel like for the first week after I saw it, I was just so excited about it. I was like, I just want to talk about how great everybody is, and I know that there's going to be valid criticisms of this movie later, but right now I just want to think about how great it is. Do you know how you kind of like go through that phase? I don't want to say that I never get to the point where I hear valid criticisms of stuff, because obviously that's not true, but like when you first see something, you're like, I just want to look at comics of Poe and Finn making out for like a week, and then after that I'm gonna read this smart essay about how like Poe is a bad representation of fighter pilots or whatever the heck it is.
Right.
And like I'm willing to read it then, but like for the first week I need to just bask in.
But see, the problem is that like there are a lot of things that I love about this movie that I can't talk about without spoiling it, and there's a lot of things I don't like about the movie that I can't talk about without spoiling it. But I guess the best way I could put it is that like,
well, what's something that you don't like? I want to know.
I'm going to put it this way. There's a lot of decisions they made in the movie to like do throwbacks to like the original 3 movies, where they literally just like copy the same ideas and also like quoted themselves and like scenes that happened.
The quoting is actually bothered me more than like stylistic and narrative similarities. Like I actually didn't mind that there are a lot of narrative similarities to A New Hope. I know that's something that like Ben didn't like, for example, which I don't blame him for that. I really like A New Hope, so for me I was like, this is fun. This is like seeing A New Hope but with people who look like me and my friends. I love it. So that was great, but I don't like the fact that, okay, so like this happens really early in the movie, so I feel like it's not a spoiler, but like within the first 5 minutes of the movie, Poe looks outside and says, "We've got company," because a bunch of fighter pilots are showing up, and like that's like a direct quote from the earlier movies, and I was just like, I don't know why this is here.
They did that so much though,
and I know there are other examples, but like that's the one that kept coming back to me. And even in the theater I was like, oh, they should have changed that line. See? Like that feels like a placeholder line that somebody put in the script as a joke and then like needed to be replaced later. And again, that's like a really small quibble, but I feel like it's stuff like that that kind of adds up to be like, okay, so this is somebody's really clever A New Hope fan fiction, right? Like, because that's essentially what it feels like. But is that a bad thing? I don't know that that's bad. Like, maybe it's fine.
See, for me, it was the garbage chute joke. That just it just completely seems out of place with dialogue and everything.
And it also felt like kind of out of character in that moment to be like, okay, so you're gonna like waste time on this?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like when people, if people haven't seen the movie and they get to that part, they're gonna know what I mean by that. Like it's like a joke that slows down the pacing of what you think the characters are about to do. And that part I was like, what are you talking about? That's weird. So, I mean, there are things I don't like about it. And there's also like overarching things that I don't like about it. Like I keep bringing this up because it's actually starting to bother me. But like, where does the First Order get so much money? Like, how do they have so much money, Ryan? Where do they get it?
I don't know.
Like,
it doesn't explain any of that.
And every time I bring that up, people are like, well, the Nazis had a lot of money. And I'm like, okay, the Nazis didn't have this much money because the scale is so much smaller on one planet versus like a massive empire that spans multiple planets and has billions and billions and billions of dollars or more than that in order to build the stuff that they have.
Right.
Like it's so much bigger of a scale, and yet we're expected to believe that it happens in the same amount of time that the Nazis rose to power. And like, admittedly, the Nazis had to rise to power after World War I, which like crippled German economy, and like all of that happened. So like they did have, you know, a shitty situation to work with when they were rising to power, but that was part of what they capitalized on. And like, I just don't. Much like Ben, I would have actually thought it was a little bit interesting to hear some more information about like how the political intrigue thing happened. I don't know how I could watch that without also being extremely bored. So I'm being a little hypocritical by suggesting that I actually want that to happen. But I kind of want to know more about like, how did they gain power?
Well, maybe we'll get something in some sort of side series, because they're going to do like 3 of those, right? Like they're doing like 3 mini movies or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. There are things about the movie I did like, though. Also, I mean, obviously everything with Rey, and I think it's pretty obvious what turns out with her storyline, but
yeah, and actually going in, I had my suspicions about that too.
But it's nice to see a female hero.
Yeah, that's definitely true. And I thought Daisy Ridley was really good at like playing the part of a really young, naive person who's still knowledgeable about certain things. Like I thought it was believable that she would know a lot about engineering and how to fight, but also that she would like know pretty much nothing about like social skills.
Right.
And I was like, this is cute and it's relatable, and she seems like a person to me. Of course, many people found reasons to complain, and by many people I mean like 6 sexist men on the internet. But but those guys are in a minority, and no one likes them, and no one wants to hang out with them, so no one is.
Oh my God. You're totally right about all that. And there's the same people that couldn't deal with like Finn being the movie either. And I'm like, okay, it's 2015, time to move on. Like, you know,
like I get that racists are still out there, but I don't really want to talk to them or about them. And I want them to go away, and I want them to stop talking. So I don't know. I know that's not a solution. It's really not.
The characters are
but I'm tired.
I know. I cheated, and I had a cup of coffee before the cup of coffee I'm having now.
I'm having a cup of coffee now, and it's my first one. Okay, this is
my
real.
Second one, and it's almost done.
I don't have a solution to racism yet, but it's 9:44.
Well, when you reach the bottom of your coffee cup, you'll have the solution.
Okay, shit, Ryan, we only have 15 minutes to get through the rest of this thing. We don't have any time to talk about X-Men Apocalypse. Let me just quickly say I'm really excited that Oscar Isaac is also in X-Men Apocalypse, because that's going to be sweet. And also, everybody should see Ex Machina, because he's in Ex Machina and plays a completely different character. And it's like bonkers how good of an actor. He is in that. And he plays like, this isn't really a spoiler because it's pretty obvious from the get-go in that movie. He plays sort of like the antagonist of that movie, or like sort of the dubiously moral character. And it's like, it's so weird to go from seeing him play sort of this flippant asshole tech bro character to playing Poe Dameron, who's like extremely charming and like a completely different type of person. And then obviously in X-Men Apocalypse, he's going to be playing like a completely different type of supervillain, like as opposed to like a morally ambiguous villain. He's playing like this fantastical 4 Horsemen of the Apocalypse X-Men villain. It's like, okay, so Oscar Isaac can just have every role.
You can't even tell it's him either. It's like he looks so different.
I know, but that's also because they have to like put all the makeup and stuff on him.
I mean, that's true. I personally think he looks better, or like this version of Apocalypse looks better than like any of the versions in the comic books. And I know other people have problems with that, but I'm like, do you realize that? No, I just like look at him. Like in the comics, he's like wearing this like ridiculous purple armor, and it has like a big A on it. And I'm like, dude,
yeah, like, A for Apocalypse. What's the problem?
For Atomica.
Yeah, it's A for Atomic Blue Productions.
I'm really excited about it. I don't know how things are going to be in the movie, because like the trailer actually really doesn't show much at all. Like Olivia Munn is playing Psylocke, and you don't see her at all.
You see like her face for a second, looking surprised. She's like, and I'm like, Olivia Munn, I'm surprised to see you too.
And it's like, are we gonna get another trailer before then? Because it's like coming out in 2 months.
I don't. We'll probably get another one. I predict we'll get another one, because that's how marketing works now. I feel like they kind of put out one big thing once a month.
Yeah,
I don't know.
And I'm super excited it's in the 80s. Who's surprised about that? In Jubilee.
It's a time travel movie to the 80s. No, it isn't. It's not.
No, we already did that. We went back to the 70s.
You're right. I already forgot that that's like part of X-Men is Wolverine traveling in time. See, that's clearly why you're so fascinated by time travel, because you read Days of Future Past and you were like, this is great. I want to do this.
I think the problem is that like I'm fascinated with time travel and alternate dimensions because that's literally like the entire X-Men universe. Like they just keep on like bringing people back from the dead by pulling them out of other alternate dimensions or going back in time and pulling them forward. And like that's X-Men's thing, and it's really weird, but you know, it's what they do.
I think it's great.
Ryan,
do too. We have like 60 topics on this list and we're not going to get to them.
Yeah, I noticed that, but we also spent 20 minutes trying to turn Google Hangouts on. So
I know. I'm just sad because we have all these great topics.
All right. Well, I am going to touch on this.
Which one? Let's do like one more before we close it out. What do you want to do? Do you want to do workout tips? I have my barbells right here.
Yeah, we should do that. I do want to tell a story. You can do. Why don't you? Are you just? See, I have my workout bench behind me because I was going to do this exercise Ben taught me. So I have to get up and get off the headphones. You just kind of have to watch.
This is an overhead press. Okay, so do you want to do that? I can tell a story while you go work out. I don't know what the story would be. I'll give everybody a tip about Mario Maker while you go work out.
All right. Well, you're going to see me doing, what are they called? I have to look it up because Ben literally told me yesterday, the dumbbell chest press. So I'm going to do that while you tell a fun story.
Okay, go do it. You have to take your headphones off though, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so leave yourself on the video so that people can see you.
Okay.
Unless you don't want them to see you.
Well, that's fine.
Okay, so...
All right, hold on. You have to hold on a second now because I just like lost something. I'm trying to plug in my headset now.
Okay, so Ryan's having a moment.
Right, can you talk so I can see if I can hear you?
Yeah, I can talk. I'm talking right now.
Nope. All right, well, I broke something.
Don't worry about it. Just go do your exercise. He can't hear me. I don't know why I'm saying that. Okay, so Ryan's going to go work out. So here's an important tip about Mario Maker. The tip is that if you make a level while using a template and you edit the template, you will not then later be able to upload your level. And I did that last night. I spent like an hour making a Mario Maker level. Like, I took an existing template, obviously, which you shouldn't do, by the way, and I made like a ton of modifications to it and made a level that is fine. I don't know. I'm not going to talk up my level too much because I'm probably going to figure out a way to put it up eventually. But it turns out that if you modify an existing template, even if you like change everything about it, Nintendo is like, you can't steal our template, and if you upload this, you're stealing, and it won't let you upload it. So I looked on the internet, and apparently what people do in this situation is they take pictures of like every single aspect of the level, or they recreate it on graph paper, but everybody was making fun of the people who did that because you could just take pictures of it, I guess. So they take pictures of it, and then they go and like rebuild the entire level from scratch. But that's so annoying. And I'm really annoyed that I spent a really long time making a level that I can't upload now. I just wasted my time, you know? Like, isn't that annoying? Ryan, isn't it annoying?
It is annoying. Also,
Ryan,
I want to know if you can hear an echo of yourself right now. Can you?
I can.
Okay, hold on one second.
I can, but I worked through it. I worked through that echo.
We're going to change that.
I'm excited.
All right.
I'm so excited to not be echoey anymore.
Okay.
All right. So anyway, you did a great job.
Thank you.
How many reps was that?
I only did 15 right now, but that's
do you do like 3 sets of 15, or do you just do 15 and then like that's it?
I do like 3 sets of everything usually.
I do too, but I don't think I've ever done 15 reps of anything. I usually do 3 sets of 8 or 3 sets of 5 and like just use a big weight.
Right. But I don't know. Before I used to do less, but I've been doing more lately because I keep on working with the weights. So, I mean, there's that. Before I tell my story, Ben actually just messaged me and asked, if we could talk about the Batman v Superman trailer.
Oh my God! What is there to even say? Okay,
hold on.
What is there to even say about that fucking movie? Okay, I'm actually kind of annoyed about that movie even existing. But whatever.
The question he's asking is, what is your thought of the appearance of Wonder Woman leading to the "is she with you" comment? And then I thought she was with you.
Okay, so that I'm gonna admit that did make me laugh, even though it's a really stupid joke.
Well,
did it make you laugh at least? Or
no.
I laughed. I was like, "This is funny because I fucking hate these two guys." I don't understand why the movie is about them. I don't understand why there's a movie about Batman and Superman. Honestly, I
don't either.
I literally don't. I want someone to tell me why I'm supposed to go see a movie about Batman and Superman. Can anyone explain that to me? And then Wonder Woman shows up at the end and they're like, it's funny how she's not in the movie. It's like the same joke that was told about the Wasp 1,000 times in Ant-Man, where they're like, it's really funny how you're not the star of this movie, even though you're vastly more competent than we are. Ha. Those are literal lines in fucking Ant-Man, is people being like, it's really funny how the Wasp can't do anything because we're men and we're dads and we have to wear the suit. Anyway, bye. It's so dumb.
I don't know. That is.
What did you think about it? It sounds like you guys are pissed about it, but I know Ben is huge.
My opinion is just I'm like, that is not what you do when you introduce Wonder Woman. You don't make a joke about which duties she's with. You know?
Yeah. No, you're right. You're right. I mean, that is another way to read that joke that I actually unbelievably didn't think of until you said it just now. I assumed that it was just the first meaning of the joke, which is she your ally or is she my ally? But I get what you're saying. It can also be read as, so which of us is she gonna date? And it turns out the answer is Superman, because that's canon in the comics right now.
I can't even deal with that.
So even that can't be salvaged.
Aren't Superman and Batman dating?
Oh yeah, they are.
That's canon, right?
That's canon.
Ben also asked what we...
I can't even deal with you saying that.
Okay, Ben also asked what we thought of the new Deadpool trailer.
Okay, I actually haven't seen it yet. I've gone through sort of a weird thing with the Deadpool movies where I'm so anxious that it's going to be bad that I've actually stopped interacting with all the marketing for it, which is very out of character for me. Ordinarily, I don't care about spoilers. I just interact with everything. I'm like, whatever, I don't really care. It's fine. It's all going to happen. But with Deadpool, I'm like, I'm really worried about this. Do you know what I mean?
I do. The only thing that I really liked about the new Deadpool trailer was the part where Colossus comes in. And
maybe I'll watch it just for that. But no, tell me what happens. Well,
Deadpool just is I don't have time for your X-Men shit. And it's pretty great.
I just realized I should be working out.
Yeah, okay. While you work out, I'm actually going to tell you a story because that's what we're supposed to do. And I don't have any Mario Maker tips.
Okay.
But I just want to talk about the fact that Christmas shopping just happened, obviously, since Christmas was last week. And Mary Ellen and I went and finished it the day before Christmas. And we were like, maybe we should get presents.
That's a good idea.
And we went, and it's I met up with her, and we were originally just getting some dinner together at Friendly's, as adults do. And we went over to Marshall's, and we were in Marshall's for 45 minutes, not buying anything, but just playing with stuff and taking pictures. And
we're adorable.
We finally got some stuff, and we're we didn't find what we were looking for, so we're gonna go to this other Marshall's. So we went 15 minutes to West Hartford and went to that Marshall's, didn't get anything there, and then Mary Ellen's can we go back to the first Marshall's? So we go back to the one that we were in being obnoxious in for 45 minutes, and we go in there for
no, back up. You guys went to two separate Marshalls?
Yeah, and then went back to the first one.
I feel like you just glossed over that without explaining why you went to a second Marshall's. I'm like knocking my spoon everywhere. Ryan, why did you leave the first Marshall's?
Because we were looking
because you were like, we don't have anything we want.
Well, I was looking for certain wine glasses for my sister, and Mary Ellen was looking for something for her mom, and then we realized that everything was at the first Marshall's, so we went back. I mean, it's such a Mary Ellen and Ryan story, and this is also the same day that like we when I picked her up from her parents' house because she's with her family. Like
you do on Christmas. Yeah, right. You won't believe this. Mary Ellen had to spend Christmas with her family.
Okay, so I go pick her up and like we leave and are trying to get to the Friendlies or whatever, and like we pull out of her street and we immediately get lost. Like it was like. We left her street, we took the wrong turn, and then got lost because her parents moved to like a new neighborhood, and we were like lost for like 10 minutes driving around. And I was like, this is like just about the quality of our Let's Plays too, because it's like.
Yeah, by the way, people should go back and watch the archives of Ryan and Mary Ellen's Let's Plays, which is something that I'm so sad stopped. And I'm like the most obnoxious friend in the world because I keep bringing it up and being
but it's okay
how
though.
How come you guys stopped?
we talked about figuring out how to do it like long distance, which is what I was trying to test out last night.
I really want you guys to do it.
Yeah, it's probably like Game Grumps style because I don't know if we can also interlay all the video very easily, but we're discussing options.
Yeah, so. Like maybe just audio instead of video, which is too bad because your expressions are so good. I'm being the worst right now. I'm being the worst friend. Okay, so I support whatever you do and I love you.
I think you're being the best friend because you're like, I want this to continue.
That's true, but I'm also putting a lot of pressure on you to like have it be as high quality as possible because I'm like, can you release video and audio and also the game?
And a podcast.
I'm gonna need all of that to be there. So can you do that, Ryan? Can you do that?
The only problem is that one of us would have to play a game and somebody else would have to watch from like online. So
that would be really weird. But I mean, what can you do? You don't live in the same town anymore. So
no, but we'll figure it out. So I'm excited about it.
All right, cool. I'm gonna do another set.
Are you? Okay.
I guess so. I don't know. What's happening right now?
do another set because I can talk about a Christmas special real brief because I wanted to talk about this.
2 minutes before.
I know. Okay. And next week, hopefully we'll be a little bit more timely about this. Maybe. So for Christmas, while I was wrapping gifts, I always watch Christmas specials. And with Hulu now, they put like every Christmas special that's ever existed on there.
Wait, what? I didn't even know that. Holy shit.
And I watched like Sabrina the Teenage Witch. What? I watched like Garfield, which is really weird because John acts like a 6-year-old in it. And he's definitely like, it's very unclear to me like how old he's supposed to be.
I feel like that's a problem in the comics as well because the comic canon for Garfield matters. I don't know why I'm bringing that up. I keep going.
So I watched that and it was weird, but I want to talk about the fact that I watched the ALF Christmas Special and it was just like so fucked up. He's an alien, so he's not supposed to be seen by people anyway, but he accidentally gets taken to a hospital of like dying children. And like this child's like, you're the best toy ever. And then he finds out that like she's gonna die. And they don't like have a resolution to that. She just like, she's gonna die. And like she spends Christmas with her, and then on his way out gets trapped in an elevator with a woman who's having a baby because the doctors got locked out of the elevator. So he delivers the baby and then names it after the child who's like dead.
Okay, no. I hated how that story ended. First of all.
And so like Alf's like family, like the people he lives with, like go back and bring the child presents because like she's not going to make it to next year or something. It's insane. They don't even say what she says, and she's like, I don't even understand.
She has death, Ryan.
They're like she's gonna die in the year, yet she's running around and like making cookies. So I don't really understand. And so I'm just like, this is a really fucked up dark shit. And then it ends with Alf stopping the guy that brought the toys from committing suicide because like the guy's gonna like jump off a bridge.
Wait, what? I like how you were like, oh, and there's a subplot with suicide.
It's insane. And I was talking to Ben about it afterwards, and he was like, yeah, in the 80s there was some like dark shit for Christmas specials, including
I think it's
Golden
because
Girls.
like everything. Oh well, yeah, Golden Girls is amazing. I think it was just because like everything was going pretty well. I guess like people. Well, it was the 80s. It wasn't the 90s.
No, I think the problem is that things were going like not well.
Yeah, so people were like, "We're terrified about the Cold War. Let's make some really anxious stuff." I don't know what was happening in the 80s. You're the expert on the 80s. I don't know.
Lots of really fucked up horror and sci-fi films. So if that's any indication
of how we were doing.
Yeah.
Also, the internet was invented, but that's that's it.
So I want to talk more about Christmas specials, but we're not gonna have time.
And, oh shit! Yeah, I have to go to work.
I know. Me too. I did want to say
this was so fun.
I want to do it again, and we had a part of this where we're going to talk about foods that we recommend, and we don't really have time to do that now. But I'm going to quickly say broccoli and fake chicken, or for me, but for normal people like chicken.
For normal people, I like how you just acknowledge that being a vegetarian does make you a weirdo, and I'm glad that you're acknowledging it, Ryan. I'm glad that
it's really
finally
great.
Acknowledging it.
And
what was I gonna say? My entire house is full of cookies right now.
Mine too, and it's like out of control. There was full of cookies before Christmas happened because Ben's birthday happened, and somebody gave him like 500 packs of Oreos. So that's around. Oh my god,
that's horrifying. People need to not give me Oreos. It's dangerous.
Yeah.
I guess I would say like Japanese curry. It's something that we make a lot, and you can get these like little instant. They're cubes. They're like bouillon cubes, and you can add them to stock, or you can add them to water. And like, so you boil potatoes and vegetables in water, like a certain amount of water. It says on the package, and then like once they're cooked, you put in these cubes, and then it all completely thickens up, and it just becomes awesome and delicious. And I think it's really good on its own, but Zach doesn't think it's spicy enough, so he always puts on like Oriental curry powder, which I realize is like the most racist thing you could ever call something, but that's what it's literally called on the package. So I don't know how else to describe it.
Well, welcome to America.
Yeah, I don't know. Somebody marketed it as Oriental curry powder, so that's what it's called. And that stuff's pretty good if you like it spicy. And so like I don't know, it's like I don't know what the difference is between like Japanese curry and like other cultures' curry, other than like different spices are used basically, but there's some similarity to like West Asian curries, but it's got different spices in it essentially. So like if you've never had Japanese curry before and you like curry, you should check it out because it's actually a really good dish, and it's pretty easy to make even for somebody like me who doesn't know what the heck they're doing. But let's be honest, Zach makes it. I don't do any work.
Really make any food. Ben makes most of the food in this house, and when I try, it does not taste that good.
Yeah,
it's edible.
Ben and Zach are the actual stars of this show because they are the people who are making this happen behind the scenes.
That's like true.
Feeding us and ensuring that we continue to be alive.
And also, Ben literally sending me topics for us to talk about.
Also, Ben's topics were really good. So thanks to Ben.
Speaking
of topics, okay, wait, no, we have to close the show. I already signed into my work chat, and my coworkers are probably like, Maddie, can you pick a story and write about it, please? It's 10.
They're like watching the feed and like, Maddie, go to work.
I know. Okay, so wait, let me just close it out. So if you guys liked our topics or if you hated our topics, please send us some news topics to talk about every week. We have a Gmail account. It's insomniacsinthemorning@gmail.com. Is that what it is?
Yep, that's correct.
It's pretty long Gmail, so type it in very carefully. insomniacsinthemorning@gmail.com.
I spelled it twice, like Ron. Spelt it wrong twice, tried to log in.
Yeah, okay. So just type it really carefully and then send us an email and let us know if you like the show. If you hated the show, then and what fuck we can, you!
And what we can do to fix it, because it was definitely a train wreck this morning.
I know, but also it was really, really fun. I'm so glad that we actually did this. And I feel really awake now.
Yeah, me too. I think let's do it every morning.
Oh God, no. I changed my mind. I hate it.
You can also find our stuff at Atomic Blue Productions on YouTube, and this is where these podcasty videos things are going to go, and I will release a podcast link as well. But you will have to
we're going to figure out how to put it out as a podcast. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know either. I'm just going to take the sound. Well, we're recording it in Audacity. We're going to be okay, right?
Yeah, sure. We'll worry about it later.
I like how we're closing down and like all the viewers are now gone. They like are slowly leaving. They're like, it's too late.
This wasn't good. Bye. Well, fuck you, people.
Okay, whoa. More viewers came in and that's the first thing they saw. Congrats.
Okay, I have to go. Bye, Ryan.
Bye.